A bug was crawling around on the man's thigh. The doctor suggested cutting the whole leg off, but the man strongly refused right away. Suddenly, the bug changed direction and started heading toward his groin. The man instantly changed his mind.
Dang it, take the leg!
But before the doctor could do anything, the bug turned again and burrowed straight into his rectum. His leg was saved, but the doctor grabbed a pair of sponge forceps and went right in. Soon, the bug was pulled out, but it didn't look like anything from Earth. 3 nights earlier, a meteor had crashed in Arizona. At that moment, a rookie firefighter named Wayne was practicing for his firefighter exam. It seemed like even the meteor couldn't stand his terrible technique and slammed straight into him. Early the next morning, Harry, a wisecracking geology professor, rushed to the scene after getting the news. He brought along his friend Ira, a biology professor. Ira used to be a top government scientist and had experience in biodefense research. Soon, they arrived at the crash site. Ira walked up and was shocked. The meteor had only landed a few hours ago, yet something had already started growing on it. He cracked open the outer layer, and strange liquid began oozing out. They collected some samples and immediately returned to the lab for testing. Ira looked at the sample under a microscope. He saw single-celled organisms splitting at an incredible speed. In just seconds, the glass slide shattered. Ira ran a DNA test and confirmed they weren't from Earth. The next day, Ira couldn't wait to show Harry. But when Harry looked through the microscope, he seemed confused. Those weren't single-celled organisms anymore. They had become multicellular. Ira checked again and was stunned. Only 2 hours had passed, but the cells had gone through 200 million years of Earth's evolution. They rushed back to the crater. What they saw blew their minds. Huge swarms of worms had already appeared. To speed up evolution, the creatures were using only mitosis. In just one night, they had developed into 3 different mutant species, but they still couldn't survive Earth's air. They died instantly when exposed. Even though Ira was shocked, he realized how valuable this discovery was. This could win them a Nobel Prize. So the two of them secretly took more samples back to the lab. Ira even reminded Harry not to tell anyone, not if they wanted that Nobel. Little did they know, Wayne, who was working at a country club, also discovered a bunch of tapeworms. They were crawling out from the cracks in the floor, but just moments after they came out, they all choked and died. Wayne was about to spray some pesticide, but when he turned around, he saw something moving inside the water purifier. Freaked out, he ran away as fast as he could. The next day, Ira and Harry rushed back to the meteor crater again, hoping to stop others from discovering the alien life. Unfortunately, they were too late. The military had already taken over the site. One soldier heard Ira's name and got so worked up, he almost pulled out his gun. Luckily, the others stopped him just in time. Inside the temporary base, General Woodman greeted Ira with a warm hug, thanking him for delivering such a great gift. Turns out the military had been secretly monitoring Ira's computer and found out everything. Then, General Woodman introduced the head of the project, Allison, an epidemiologist from the CDC. Ira and Harry were kicked out without any ceremony. Ira was furious. After all, they were the ones who discovered it first. They took the matter to court, hoping to reclaim their rights. But Allison's arguments were airtight. Back in the day, the military had asked Ira to develop an anthrax vaccine, which nearly caused 140,000 soldiers to lose their manhood. No wonder the soldier earlier was so mad. As expected, Ira lost the case. And when the two returned to their college lab, it had been completely cleaned out. To get their samples back, they disguised themselves as military officers and snuck into the research base. Wearing protective suits, they entered the meteor crater once more. To their shock, in just 3 weeks, the cave had turned into a full-on rainforest. Weird-looking creatures had evolved everywhere. They came in all shapes and sizes, and one wrong move could get you eaten alive. As Harry reached for a lobster-like creature, his attention was suddenly caught by a bug that looked exactly like a butt. Meanwhile, the military realized Ira and Harry had broken in. Allison came with soldiers to kick them out. They all started yelling at each other. At that moment, a mosquito-like insect slipped into Harry's suit, nearly costing him a leg. When the two returned to the college, Wayne was already waiting. Now working as a server at the country club, Wayne had found something shocking, a mutated alligator. When Wayne pulled off the tarp, Ira immediately recognized it as one of the evolved creatures from the crater. The alien life was starting to spread. They just hadn't fully adapted to Earth's atmosphere yet. At the same time, a nearby resident opened her storage room and found a strange, green, wrinkly dog inside. Instead of running away, she stupidly leaned in to pet it. It nearly bit off her finger. Soon, Ira and the others arrived at the scene with the police. The green dog had already choked to death because it still couldn't survive Earth's air. Then Wayne made a huge discovery. Out back, there were dozens of winged dinosaur-looking creatures lying on the ground. They were clearly trying to adjust to the oxygen, but hadn't figured it out yet. Suddenly, one of them rolled over and stood up. It violently coughed out a giant meatball, then collapsed and died. But before they could even inspect it, a monster crawled out from the meatball. It stood up, flapped its wings a few times, and showed no fear of the oxygen. Then it took off, flying straight toward the city. They jumped into the car and gave chase. If that creature started reproducing, humanity was doomed. In the blink of an eye, the monster rushed into the shopping mall. Seeing all the humans around, it dashed into the crowd and started hunting for food. The three of them quickly showed up with guns, but the monster was carrying a girl in its mouth, wandering around. Ira tried to save her, but the monster was too fast and vanished in an instant. While Harry was still clueless, Wayne suddenly stepped up to a microphone and started singing. Oddly enough, his mating call-like voice lured the monster back. At that moment, Ira and Harry were ready. Just as the monster got close, Harry dove in and rescued the girl. Ira fired 3 shots at the creature. Thanks to their perfect teamwork, the crisis was handled. By then, reporters had swarmed the scene. The incident quickly became a media frenzy. The governor arrived at the base to check on the progress, but things weren't looking good. At the alien growth rate, America wouldn't last a month. General Woodman suggested bombing it with napalm, but the governor hesitated, worried it might hurt his approval ratings. Just then, a soldier noticed something strange underground. An intelligent life form had evolved. It smashed all the surveillance cameras and tried to escape. The soldiers quickly sealed every exit, but those primate-like aliens launched a surprise attack from behind and captured the governor. In the chaos, Wayne picked up a gun and shot the creature dead. The governor, shaken but alive, completely changed his mind. Now he fully supported whatever General Woodman wanted, even if it meant blowing the whole place to ashes. With nothing more to do there, Ira and his team got ready to leave. But just as they were about to go, Allison showed up with Meteor samples in hand. She had always disliked General Woodman and decided to join Ira's team. As they headed back to the lab, the military began evacuating the nearby town. Meanwhile, some crazy folks started throwing apocalypse parties. Back in the lab, Ira's team tried to find a better way to defeat the alien life forms. If General Woodman's bombing failed, humanity was doomed. But staring at the alien samples, Ira had no clue where to begin. Harry, feeling hopeless, lit a cigarette. He flicked the match away, and by accident, it landed right into the alien fluid. Almost instantly, the alien life began to split and spread rapidly. Within seconds, it covered the entire lab bench. Ira realized something was very wrong. In space, the aliens were dormant, but once they entered Earth's atmosphere and absorbed heat, they exploded into rapid growth. That meant firebombs wouldn't kill them. They'd only speed up the evolution. Ira quickly called General Woodman with the news, but the general clearly didn't want to hear it. Then Ira noticed the periodic table on the back of Allison's shirt. Arsenic was poison to carbon-based life, so maybe selenium was deadly to nitrogen-based life. But to fight the monsters, they needed at least 500 liters of the stuff. There was no way to get that much in time. That's when a student had an idea. Head and Shoulders shampoo contained selenium sulfide, tons of it. They could use that instead. So Wayne borrowed a fire truck and filled the whole tank with shampoo. They had to spray it before the bombs dropped. But since the governor came to watch the action in person, General Woodman wanted to show off. He launched the firebombs early. The explosion was massive, and the alien life form evolved into its final stage. A giant flesh monster burst out from the ground. General Woodman ordered an attack, but bullets and missiles did nothing. The monster just absorbed the heat and grew even faster. At this rate, America would be wiped out in days. As the general ordered a retreat, Ira and his crew charged in with the fire truck. They reached the monster's base and spotted a hole under it. Harry saw his chance for revenge. He shoved the hose, along with himself, into the hole. The shampoo started reacting instantly. The entire tank was pumped into the creature's body. The monster swelled up like a balloon. Everyone jumped back in the truck and raced away. The monster reached its limit and exploded. And just like that, the crisis was over. No one ever thought a bottle of shampoo could save the Earth.